and staying in the region with evacuation orders issued and troop alerts in place, and remaining in the area as evacuation notices are given and forces are on alert. U.S. military installations across the Middle East are under heightened scrutiny. U.S. bases throughout the Middle East are facing increased monitoring. Iran's warning against Western intervention has turned the spotlight on the network of American bases positioned around its borders. Iran's caution against Western action has focused attention on the U.S.-based network surrounding its territory, as the region remains on edge. While the region continues to stay tense, questions are growing about the scale, location, and strategic value of American forces in the region. Concerns are rising regarding the size, placement, and importance of American troops across the area. Our next report maps it all out. Our upcoming segment outlines all of this. Music. The conflict in the Middle East is showing no signs of de-escalation. The crisis in the Middle East shows no indication of calming down. Iran and Israel have traded missile strikes for a fifth day. Iran and Israel have exchanged missile fire for 5 consecutive days. And amidst this, Iran has reportedly threatened to attack American, British, and French bases in the region. And during this, Iran is said to have warned of striking US, UK, and French bases nearby if they intervene to stop the Iran strikes on Israel. Should they act to halt Iran's attacks on Israel? But targeting foreign bases beyond Israel will likely invite a deadlier response. But hitting international bases outside Israel may trigger a harsher retaliation. U.S. President Donald Trump has already warned. President Donald Trump has already issued a warning that any strike on American assets will be met with the full force of the U.S. military. That attacks on U.S. property will receive a full-scale military reply. So what are the strategic U.S. bases that encircle Iran? So which American bases strategically surround Iran? Where are they located? Where exactly are these located? And how many U.S. troops are stationed across the region? And what's the number of U.S. soldiers placed throughout the region? Let's break it down. Let's take a closer look. The U.S. has maintained a military footprint in the Middle East for decades. The U.S. has kept its military presence in the Middle East for many years. It reportedly operates a network of bases, both permanent and temporary, across at least 19 locations in the region. It's said to manage a network of long-term and short-term bases in more than 19 places in the area. 8 of these are permanent bases located in Bahrain, Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. Out of these, 8 are permanent sites found in Bahrain, Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. According to estimates, 40,000 to 50,000 U.S. troops are stationed across the region. Reports suggest between 40,000 and 50,000 American troops are currently posted in the region, spread between large permanent installations and smaller forward operating sites, divided among major long-term bases and smaller frontline posts. So which of these bases play a critical role in the region? Which of these bases have a major function in the area? The most significant U.S. military presence is found in Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia. The most important American military locations lie in Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia. The bases here serve as strategic hubs for air operations, naval deployments, and intelligence missions. These bases act as central points for air missions, Navy movement, and intelligence activities. Let's start with the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. Starting with Qatar's Al Udeid Air Base, the largest U.S. base in the Middle East, which is the biggest U.S. installation in the region. It reportedly houses over 10,000 troops along with over 100 aircraft and drones. It's believed to host more than 10,000 soldiers and over 100 jets and drones. Next comes the Camp Arif Jan in Kuwait. Following is Camp Arif Jan based in Kuwait, a major U.S. Army base about 55 kilometers southeast of Kuwait City, a key U.S. Army site located around 55 kilometers from Kuwait's capital. It serves as the main logistics and command hub for operations across the region. It functions as the primary center for logistics and regional command. In Bahrain, the Naval Support Activity Base is home to the U.S. 5th Fleet. In Bahrain, the Naval Support Activity Station houses the U.S. 5th Fleet, hosting about 9,000 personnel, including both military and civilian staff, accommodating nearly 9,000 members, both military and civilian. Further south, in the UAE, Al Dhafra Base is a key site for reconnaissance, intelligence missions, and for combat air support. Farther south in the UAE, Al Dhafra is crucial for surveillance, intelligence gathering, and air combat backup. And in Iraq, the Al-Assad Air Base remains strategic for air operations in Iraq and Syria. And Iraq's Al-Assad Air Base still plays a key role in air missions over Iraq and Syria. This was the same base targeted by Iranian missiles in 2020. This is the base that was hit by Iranian missiles back in 2020. So with missiles in the air and tensions at a boil, with missiles flying and pressure rising, the risk of a full-scale regional war is growing by the day. The danger of a widespread regional war increases daily. And if more nations are drawn in, and if additional countries become involved, the consequences could stretch far beyond the current battlefield. The impact could go well past the current conflict zone. For a region long scarred by conflict, in a region already marked by prolonged war, the next strike could bring destruction that's hard to contain and even harder to reverse. The coming attack could unleash damage that's hard to stop and even harder to undo.